The Samsung Galaxy A56 versus the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus. If you're hunting for a solid mid-range phone in 2025 and can't decide between Samsung's latest A-series offering and Xiaomi's premium Note device, you've come to the right place. Both phones launched within months of each other, with the Galaxy A56 dropping in March at around $500 and the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus arriving earlier in the fall of 2024 at about $400. These are two phones that really go head-to-head in features, but they take completely different approaches to win you over. For full specs and up-to-date pricing, check out the links in the video description below. Let's kick things off with build quality and design. The Galaxy A56 measures in at 6.20 by 2.95 inches and tips the scales at 7.0 ounces, giving it a comfortable feel that's not too chunky. Samsung went with their signature glass and aluminum construction here, complete with Corning Gorilla Glass Victus Plus protection on the front, and you get an IP67 rating for dust and water resistance. The Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus is slightly more compact at 6.38 by 2.91 inches, but weighs a bit more at 7.2 to 7.4 ounces, depending on the variant. Xiaomi also uses glass and metal materials, but they've gone with Gorilla Glass 5 protection instead of the newer Victus Plus. Both phones look premium, but the Samsung edges ahead slightly with better drop protection and that official water resistance rating that Xiaomi doesn't quite match. Now let's talk displays, because this is where things get really interesting. The Galaxy A56 sports a 6.7-inch Super AMOLED panel with FHD Plus resolution at 2340 by 1080 pixels, which works out to about 393 pixels per inch. It supports a 120Hz refresh rate and can pump out up to 1000 nits of peak brightness. The Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus counters with a slightly smaller 6.67-inch AMOLED display. But here's the kicker. It's got a higher 1.5K resolution at 2712 by 1220 pixels, giving you a much sharper 446 pixels per inch. It also matches the 120Hz refresh rate, but can get significantly brighter at up to 3000 nits peak brightness. Both screens support HDR10+ and have that always-on display functionality, but the Redmi clearly wins on sharpness and outdoor visibility. Under the hood, we're looking at two completely different performance philosophies. Samsung equipped the A56 with their homegrown Exynos 1580 processor, which is built on a 4nm process and paired with either 8GB or 12GB of LPDDR5 RAM. Storage comes in 128GB or 256GB flavors, but there's no microSD expansion. The Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus runs on Qualcomm's Snapdragon 7's Gen 3 chip, also on 4nm architecture, but it's generally considered more powerful than the Exynos option. You get the same RAM choices of 8GB or 12GB, but storage options go up to 512GB, though again, no expandable storage. In real-world use, the Snapdragon chip typically delivers smoother gaming performance and better efficiency, making the Redmi the winner for power users. The Exynos 1580 does handle everyday tasks just fine and actually runs cooler during extended use. But when you're pushing demanding games like Genshin Impact or Call of Duty Mobile, that Snapdragon advantage really shows up in frame rates and sustained performance. The camera systems tell another tale of different priorities. Samsung went with a triple camera setup featuring a 50-megapixel main sensor with optical image stabilization, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera, and a 5-megapixel macro lens. The front-facing camera is a solid 12-megapixel shooter. The Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus takes a more aggressive approach with its 200-megapixel main camera that uses pixel binning technology, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide, and surprisingly, a 50-megapixel telephoto lens with 2.5x optical zoom. Up front, you get a 20-megapixel selfie camera. Both phones can record 4K video at 30 frames per second, but the Redmi's higher resolution sensors and dedicated telephoto lens give it more versatility for photography enthusiasts. Samsung's approach focuses more on consistency and color science. Their photos tend to look more natural straight out of the camera with better skin tones, while the Redmi delivers more detail and flexibility for editing, but sometimes oversaturates colors in auto mode. Battery life is where the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus really flexes its muscles. It packs a massive 6,200 mAh silicon carbon battery that can easily push you through 2 days of use. And when it's time to charge, the included 120-watt hypercharge adapter can fill it up in about 18 minutes. The Galaxy A56 comes with a more traditional 5,000 mAh lithium polymer battery that'll still get you through a full day comfortably. But the 45-watt fast charging takes about 65 minutes for a complete charge. Both phones support wireless charging, though Samsung includes reverse wireless charging while Xiaomi skips that feature. For heavy users who hate being tethered to a charger, the Redmi is the clear winner here. Audio and connectivity features show both phones are well equipped for 2025. The Galaxy A56 has stereo speakers tuned by AKG with Dolby Atmos support, Bluetooth 5.3, Wi-Fi 6, NFC, and a USB-C port, though Samsung has dropped the headphone jack. The Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus matches most of this with stereo speakers that support high-res audio, Bluetooth 5.2, Wi-Fi 6, NFC, and USB-C 2.0, plus it actually keeps the 3.5mm headphone jack for wired audio fans. Both phones support 5G on all major US bands, have GPS with multiple satellite systems, and include infrared blasters for controlling TVs and appliances. The Redmi gets a slight edge for keeping the headphone jack and supporting more audio formats. Software is where Samsung traditionally shines, and the A56 doesn't disappoint. It ships with Android 14 under Samsung's One UI 6.1, and Samsung promises 7 years of security updates plus 4 major Android version upgrades, taking you all the way to 2032. The Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus also runs Android 14, but with Xiaomi's HyperOS interface and a more modest promise of 3 major OS updates and 4 years of security patches. Samsung's longer support timeline and cleaner interface make it the better choice for users who plan to keep their phones for several years, though some people actually prefer Xiaomi's more customizable approach. Looking at value, the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus at around $400 gives you that massive battery, super fast charging, sharper display, more versatile cameras, and flagship-level performance. The Galaxy A56 costs about $100 more at $500, but you're paying for Samsung's premium build quality, longer software support, better brand recognition, and that water resistance rating. If you prioritize raw specs and features per dollar, the Redmi is tough to beat. But if you want a phone that feels more premium and will stay updated longer, Samsung justifies that extra cost. There's also the ecosystem factor to consider. If you're already using Samsung Galaxy Buds, a Galaxy Watch, or other Samsung devices, the A56 integrates seamlessly with features like Smart Switch and Samsung DeX. Meanwhile, Xiaomi's phone works great with their ecosystem products and offers more customization options for tech enthusiasts who like to tinker with settings. If this helped you out, be sure to like and subscribe. And check out more of our tech reviews linked right here. Thanks for watching.